You'll get through this. You'll break new ground.
Today, as I was writing this vlog, I received this email from Brene Brown. I think it's really pertinent for all of us. She says, this pandemic experience is a massive experiment in collective vulnerability. We can be our worst selves when we're afraid, or our very best, bravest selves. In the context of fear and vulnerability, there's often very little in between, because when we're uncertain and afraid, our default is self-protection. We don't have to be scary when we're scared. Let's choose awkward, brave, and kind. And let's choose each other. Hi. Welcome back to our 5th day of We'll Get Through This series on how to have some fun and be healthy during this challenging time in our lives. My name is Carol, and as I've mentioned, being healthy means staying in tune and balanced with all dimensions of who you are. So for example, if you're doing fine with your job and your money, but not caring for your mental health, you'll have an imbalance that can show up in other parts of your life. With that in mind today, let's consider the mental health dimension of the holistic health wheel. I'm going to put on my counselor hat for a few minutes and be very frank. This is not an easy time for anyone, and we all struggle at times to find balance in our emotional well-being. Be aware this is normal. Like every difficult time, we may experience symptoms of denial, shock, anger, fear, apathy, depression, helplessness. Normal. Many of us will become ill. The world is going to struggle with a loss of life and the loss of finances. As an entire human race, we're going to be carrying around hefty emotional loads for the unforeseeable future. It's critical that we understand that we are now defining what's called a new normal. And it's going to take us time to define what is healthy. So while my mental health tips may not be so much fun today, they will be healthy for us to consider and to share with others. First, we have to be honest. We have to be gentle, and we have to be patient with not only ourselves, but others. First, be honest about how you're really feeling. Start by jotting down in your journal what's going on inside of you, or better yet, talk to someone safe and just spill your guts. I know. Many uninformed people continue to believe that this sounds weak. However, this is no time to be stoic or distant. We must all show our strength by releasing the emotions we are feeling instead of damming them up. I suggest you just cry, scream, wring your hands, binge on old movies, or whatever you need to do to cope. Just remember to be aware of what is a healthy or unhealthy coping technique for you, and honestly think about whether it's okay. I really thought I was doing pretty well until I called my friend Lisa a couple nights ago. When I heard her soothing counselor voice, I burst into tears. I realized how I'd been holding in my emotions. My kids' fear over their children, my husband's chemo treatments, the bitter, bitter cruelty we've seen in politics, it all just poured out. We talked for probably an hour, and we shared our honest fears, our frustrations, and our observations over what we saw transpiring in our families, our children, our grandchildren, and even the world. Honesty needs to flow among us all, however, so let those around you share their struggles as well. A healthcare worker I love dearly called me crying as she was preparing to walk into the hospital where she works. Her stress was palpable. I just sat and listened, knowing I was giving her the best loving support I could, considering the circumstances. Gentleness is also essential for our mental health right now. We must show compassion and love not only to ourselves, but also to others. To use some old counseling terms, we need to be warm fuzzies rather than cold pricklies. Now, I'm a pretty tough old bird, but right now I'm feeling pretty vulnerable. So I'm trying to be gentle and loving with that dimension of me. We all need to do this. And finally, we need to practice patience. It's hard. In a world where we have instant gratification and instant responses and instant communication, we're now having to wait. Wait for others. Wait for the next shoe to drop. Wait for the news. Wait for toilet paper. You know exactly what I mean. Patience is a virtue that all of us are being forced to practice. But this will make us stronger as a world. So be patient with yourself. Then let this light shine beyond you by showing patience to those around you, including the many service workers out there busting their butts to help us all. There's so many people that are putting their lives on the line for the rest of us, and it's so critical that we help them. That wasn't so much fun, but it surely was necessary. Now let's turn to Lydia's lighter tips on staying mentally healthy. She said, even though my role as a school speech pathologist looks a little different right now, I know we all still need to take time for ourselves every day. So breathe deeply. If you're feeling anxious, here's one way to calm your mind. Think of 5 things that you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things that you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. I like that one a lot. After becoming more in tune with your senses, do you feel, I don't know, maybe just more calm? Pay attention to how your body feels. Write these down in your journal. Now it's your turn. What suggestions resonated with you today? Which will you share with your health buddy? What will you incorporate into your healthy practices? And as always, let us know what you're thinking. We will get through this. But we desperately need to take care of ourselves and share that care with those we meet. Thanks so much for joining us. And I'll see you tomorrow when we're going to talk about the healthy spiritual dimension of staying healthy. Thanks.
You'll get through this. You'll break new